Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special live edition of The Wrap right here on the Fight Game Media Network YouTube channel. We are on the road to WrestleMania as we experience quite the shocking PLE to continue that road to WrestleMania in Las Vegas in mid-April. I'm Keila Cash, and by my side, as always, is not my co-captain, not my right hand. Once again, filling in for Scott Young, who is celebrating his birthday this weekend. He tapped in at the last minute to come by, swing through, and get us through the Elimination Chamber PLE recap. I bring to you back live on The Wrap, as always, the one, the only Fight Game Media family member, Jeremy Finestone. Welcome back, Jeremy.
Hello. By process of elimination, I was the next man up. And happy to be here. Happy birthday to Scott. Cool that he gets to watch a PLE on his birthday, but also cool that he gets to do it on his own free time. So here we are. Caught me off guard. I was not able to watch SmackDown last night, so I was doing my best to play catch up and figure out. And based off of watching the show, it didn't really matter if I watched SmackDown last night. So let's do this. Let's talk about a show that happened.
A show that happened, a show that existed. I want to get into the chat very quickly with Fernando, who was already in before we started going live.
Hello, Fernando.
Yes, hello, Fernando. What's up, everyone? Wow, that finish was fire. Can't wait to dive into it with you. We're definitely going to talk about it. And he notes the Golden Boy sold his soul. Wow, yes, he did. During the twilight year of his career, someone decided to sell out and go all in with Hollywood Rock. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's dive into Elimination Chamber going down live last night from the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we kick things off with the booing of the national anthem of the United States of America.
Oh my God, we were in for a night.
Oh my gosh. So when we get hill heat up north from our northern brothers and sisters, we knew it was going to be a night. Oh my God.
So you've been following the USA Canada hockey games, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so anyone who's been watching these should not be surprised that at any sports adjacent event in Canada where the US anthem plays, this should not have been a surprise. However, if you think about the optics of it, it would be a lot easier for the U.S. to do it and just deal with the boos than if it were to catch the attention of anyone who really just wanted to make an issue out of the fact that the national anthem wasn't played for any reason whatsoever. And I get the boos in hindsight.
I do. It was funny as hell.
Yeah.
It was right and wrong on so many levels. The level of disrespect that America got, but I understand it. I get it.
No.
I get it.
No.
I get it. I understand it. And I can't be mad. How can I possibly be mad? And then we had "Oh Canada" being sung, and they cheered that, obviously, because that is their anthem. And they said, let's represent our country accordingly. So after that fiasco that kicked off the show, we get right into the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And shout out to Maria as well, who's also one of our favorite chat people in the conversation. Yes, she says one of the craziest moments in wrestling history. Yeah, they did something that we never thought they would do in the year 2025. We'll talk about that in a bit, but let's talk about the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The winner will go on to face Rhea Ripley or Io Sky for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada on Saturday, April 19th or Sunday, April 20th. And we had in the match the following competitors: Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan. And the first two people to start the match was supposed to be Liv Morgan and Naomi. Now, before the cage closed, as in the Elimination Chamber, before we seal the competitors inside for this match, we hear the theme song of "A Storm Is Coming," and it is, in fact, the return of Jade Cargill.
Fit and ready, Jade Cargill.
Fit, ready, toned, body, days, everything. So she comes out in all black, looking like Storm legit, gets in the chamber. Liv Morgan, her face was like, oh shit. Oh, she's gonna get me.
She's coming for me. She's
The
coming
panic,
for me.
the panic in her eyes, her facial expressions were everything. And you know what? I thought to myself, you know what, Liv, my girl, my sister, you're not going to be the one to get beat down, because I always suspected who did the attack. And sure enough, Jay Cargill got her pound of flesh on Naomi. She attacked her. She whooped her ass. She destroyed her. She kicked her through a pod.
Pillar to post.
Pillar to post. That was an old-fashioned revenge ass whooping. And Bianca Belair, noted Emmy Award winner, was in the pod, helpless to save her friend. She was screaming. She was crying.
For a horror movie is what she was doing.
Listen, she was going for Scream 8. That's what she was going for.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, stuck in the bathroom as her friends are getting hacked. Just nothing. Powerless. Couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do a thing. She was powerless.
Magnificent performance.
It really was, actually, because like you are helpless to help your friend in need. And Jay just beat the shit out of her and she left. And then she closed the chamber door on Naomi as an added touch. And then she left like a boss. Did not make eye contact with Bianca at all during any of this. So that's like a cliffhanger for probably SmackDown on Friday to find out exactly what's going on there. But then the fans do the nah, hey, goodbye to Naomi as she is stretchered out of this match. She's officially eliminated because she can't compete. And thankfully, Bianca Belair didn't do too much because the fans were about to turn on her because she was trying to check on her friend. And they was like, oh no, don't do that. So thankfully,
the logic gap was like, what is happening here? There's only one other person. Just like, there's nothing you can do kind of thing. Like, go look. But then the whole like grieving moment was just, that was like on that precipice of like, don't be dumb babyface. And then she started getting her ass kicked. It was like, you were dumb babyface.
Yes, dumb babyface. Fan revolt incoming. Let's not undo 5 years of a babyface run. Let's not do that in this moment because we need you for WrestleMania as a babyface, preferably. So the match starts with Liv and Bianca, and she's out of it emotionally. She's stressed out, doesn't know how to feel about stuff, kind of out of the zone at first. And then we have Roxanne and Bayley and eventually Alexa Bliss in the mix. And the match is okay for what it is, but I will say that Liv Morgan is my MVP of this match.
Oh, God, she was great.
God almighty. Like, I've been on the Liv train.
She kept it all together.
She really did. I think that she's become one of the ring generals in the women's division. She's a great wrestler that's finally come into her own, that she is reliable to hold a match together. And she's like keeping the body and flow of the match going. When things got a little herky-jerky at some points, she was the glue that held things together. And she's just been amazing ever since losing the championship. But I don't want to blame her for her run because it's not her fault. It was the booking and a feud going way too long. But her capabilities as a wrestler has never been in doubt.
Yeah, so she deserves a lot of credit for the fact that she has gotten so much better from when she made it up to from the roster. And she's just a complete wrestler now. Everything about her is just sound, and she can bridge the parts of the match that don't connect anymore. And you look at her go in this match, and you kind of watch Alexa Bliss at the same time, and you know she's got a little bit of ring rust. She's been out of the ring for a while, but she knows the fundamentals, and she had been given way more opportunities at a main event level that Liv had up to about last year at this point with her career. And so I just think about it and just think Liv has made the most of all of her opportunities. And the WWE is genuinely better for it. Like, we sing the praises of Bianca, and Bayley's had a stellar year, and Rhea is a powerhouse, and everybody has their role to play. But Liv feels almost like Becky in a way that, like, she is a connective tissue to the entire roster, and that she can put her in the ring with anybody, and it's going to be okay, if not great.
And that's high praise. And I think this is a situation where eventually she'll get back over as a babyface because fans do appreciate the work and they see it. They see the improvement. And all she needed was an opportunity of pushing mic time. And look what happens. And she's really developed to a great character who can work at a very high level as a single star and as a tag team wrestler, as one half of the tag team champions once again with Raquel Rodriguez. So I think that, as you said, she has definitely grown into her own, and she is someone that you can rely upon to keep a match together, that she is someone that you can really lean on to deliver during those peak moments. And she did so here tonight as well. So the first elimination was Bayley getting eliminated in this match. Little bit surprising for her to go first. And then we had next on the list, Roxanne Perez goes bye-bye, followed by Alexa Bliss, who was eliminated once again from a match by Liv Morgan. And it came down to Morgan and Bianca Belair, and their chemistry is always on point. And a high spot of this match was Bianca and Liv fighting on top of the pod and her using her hair, as in Bianca Belair, to whip, and I mean whip, and let me say it again, I mean whip Liv Morgan until the flesh broke, until she was bleeding.
They replayed this 5 times throughout the match.
Yes.
Not just once. Like the replay machine was on fire tonight. They had 3 people ready to go at this machine, apparently, because any replay that you wanted that would even be remote of interest, they had it ready to go and on lock.
Yes, and they replayed it, and I appreciated it. Like, we saw it, we heard it, we witnessed it. They zoomed in on the lash. I loved the imagery because that shit hurts. And I love a good whip. And I love how it's used sparingly, not all the time, when it counts in key moments. Then Bianca does a crossbody on top of Liv and Alexa at one point as well. Then it comes down to Liv getting her lick back by grabbing Bianca's hair and using it as a yo-yo to bounce her off the chamber.
A yo-yo is a good way to put it. I was trying to think about how you describe it other than like the leash of like a yo-yo. Exactly.
I mean, she used her as a yo-yo to bounce her off the chamber repeatedly. It was great. We had some really good near falls in this match. And then as they was going for their finishers, they blocked the other. And then eventually we had Bianca Belair lift up Liv for the KOD, the puncher ticket to WrestleMania officially. And Scott and I was talking about this for the last few weeks. The only outcome that makes sense is Bianca Belair winning this match in the chamber to go on to WrestleMania to face either to face Io Sky or Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the Women's World Championship. We had a face-off with both ladies who will be fighting for the championship this Monday on Raw. But as Scott wanted for a very long time, Bianca Belair is back where she belongs in a prime spot, vying for a championship at WrestleMania.
It's the right match for Rhea Ripley. It's the right match for Bianca Belair. And, I thought that they might do Jade and Bianca at this Mania, but it looks like they'll probably do Naomi and Jade instead and then run up Bianca and Jade after that if you wanted to make some money going into, SummerSlam or something like that. And I get strong vibes with Bianca winning the title off of Rhea Ripley.
I feel it too. I feel it as well. I think it's about that time, and I'm not opposed to it. And as you said, it opens the door for a lot of possibilities because we got to find out, did Naomi do that shit? We think she did, most likely. And that leads to her versus Naomi possibly down the road. And then ultimately Jade versus Bianca as well, maybe at SummerSlam as you project. And I think that would be great. And I think that this is a very smart match for WWE to make. It is a potential night one WrestleMania main event. Fans have been wanting to see this match for a very long time. They've teased it with face-to-face confrontations over the last couple of years, and now it's finally going to happen. Now, do we think things are going to get screwy on Monday Night Raw with Io and Rhea in their championship match?
It could. but I think that we're gonna have a pretty traditional winner. You know, like it's gonna be definitive with Rhea at the very end. But it could set up something for what Io has going on in WrestleMania. And, you know, keep in mind that Liv and Raquel don't have opponents yet. They just won those titles. So I don't expect them to lose them anytime soon. But they still need to have a viable opponent. And, you know, Liv really does deserve to have, you know, a really good opportunity at Mania. So I'm hoping we get something out of that, and the Raw on Netflix really just solidifies everything that we want to know about what is going on with Mania. I had one more question for you about Jade and Naomi, though.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think Jade was mad at Naomi for being the one to put her out, or is she mad at Naomi for taking everything that Jade had while she was gone?
Both. Like, you took me out, you took my spot, you took my championship, you took my friendship, you took everything from me. You and Bianca bonded together more so than we did. Y'all doing TikToks and you leaving me out here to dry. And then the key point that Bianca said a couple of weeks ago was that we've been texting Jade and she hasn't responded. I wonder why she hasn't responded to your texts recently. But yeah, we're going to probably see the full footage on SmackDown on Friday as to what really happened that night when Jade was sent flying through the windshield.
Why would Jade have it and nobody else, though?
You know, maybe she saw her attacker. Maybe she saw when Naomi did it.
Maybe she was like, oh, I know what camera it is. Don't give the footage to anybody else.
Exactly. Hey, listen.
Do not give it to the police.
Exactly.
I will handle this on my own.
Yes, I saw my attacker face to face, and I have the full frontal footage of what happened.
I will pay you off with my husband's baseball money.
Essentially, you know, she has the means to do that.
She does.
She does.
That Phillips money is goes a long way.
It runs long. So I definitely expect the ultimate footage to drop on SmackDown, and I think Naomi's going to be a great heel. She kind of teased that 10 years ago. Yeah. And I think that with way more experience and longevity in this business, she'll pull it off in a very effective way heading into WrestleMania.
Yeah. To wrap it all up, I think this was a perfectly academic women's elimination chamber. I don't want to say it was the best one because I don't really remember all the other ones to put it up against each other. It wasn't bad, you know what I mean? But it was pretty predictable. Like, once, you know, Alexa got eliminated, he kind of knew it was going to be Bianca number one because they've done Rhea and Liv so many times. But you didn't want it to be Alexa. And when Bayley was eliminated, you're kind of like, okay, you know, Bianca. Everything was done well. But like I said, not a whole lot of surprises in the women's division this year.
No. And in this case, I am here for predictability. Because if anybody but Bianca would have won, I would have been like, what are we doing?
Right.
This is like dumb. I don't get it.
Why? The rap stands Bianca. Let's just make that clear. So
yes.
There was never going to be an acceptable alternative to the one true queen of the WWE. Charlotte can kick rocks. Bianca.
Yes, she is.
I hear you. I advocate for the viewpoints of those who celebrate their birthday here.
Absolutely. And he'd be very happy, thrilled, ecstatic over this very extra special birthday gift he's going to get when he watches Elimination Chamber back sometime between now and our show on Tuesday. But skimming through some of the comments, Maria states, I guess we now know who did it. Yes, most likely we do. And then Debbie says, Hunter, LOL, I understand Black History Month is over, but the black on black was a lot. My God, the acting Bianca did and couldn't help broke me. Yeah,
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. It would actually make storyline sense if Naomi, when confronted, crumpled into the corner and said, I did it for The Rock.
Oh my God. I did it for the people. I did it for the bloodline.
I did it for you, Final Boss.
I did it for you. I did it for you, man. We're family.
1,000%. They could run that line back and it would work.
Oh my God.
Just want the ratings for the show, boss.
She made her bones by doing this. I appreciate that. Then Fernando notes, Naomi got the ass whooping of the year. He
Beat
says,
so bad.
It was a great beatdown. He says, when I saw Jay come out and beat up Naomi, I was so excited for Bianca because it meant Bianca was free for a Mania main event. Yes.
There was almost something hood to that beatdown.
It was. It was like hood spice in a good way.
Yeah. Like, I think it was the exclamation point of Jade slamming the door shut on her head.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the part where it was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not done with you, girl. And just, and I'm off. And you know, she just walked away. Like
a boss.
It felt like every YouTube video of two women and one of them just takes the other one's lunch money.
Yes, it was brilliant. And like this got Jade over so big. And like we know she can talk too. And she's just going to have like that perfect promo just to clap back and say, this is what you've done to me. So look at WWE telling multiple women's stories not involving the championship. That is quite remarkable, I must say.
Naomi fell a couple rungs down to the mid card on this show, though.
She did, but
the prone position gurney climb back to the stage where she's just kind of like in a daze, almost looking like she wanted her parents to comfort her. Probably not the best look, but she sold it well.
She did. But I think that she'll be okay. If she can make something out of this hill run, I think that she'll be pretty solid wherever she may land. And her big test will be having a match against Jade, presumably at WrestleMania. And you're going to be in that spot to really be Jade's really true blue first singles opponent at this big stage. So it's a grudge blood feud. We'll see if they can pull it off. We know both ladies can talk, and we'll see what they'll do in the ring together. And Maria notes about Rhea and Bianca at WrestleMania. We've waited for this match for a very long time. Debbie notes.
They're running it back, right? They did that show. They did that match in NXT a long time ago.
Yes, 5 years ago at Portland before the world crumbled due to COVID. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was their last one-on-one singles match 5 years ago. Looking forward to that.
If you did it right, and this is a Hail Mary idea here, Naomi would not be a bad fit to the New Day right now if she turned heel in the right way. Like the unappreciated, don't you know what we do for this company kind of thing. And it's just sour grapes, everything that they do. She could fit with that really well.
She would for sure. In a perfect world, if they kind of coordinated it right.
Thank you for indulging me on that really terrible idea.
I mean, listen, I hate their theme music, but I do love the idea of embittered people joining forces because they've been shitted on.
Just a bunch of haters.
Yes, haters over what exactly? Being underappreciated.
Yes. Not getting their respect and their due and blaming everybody else for it. It's actually kind of...
Very much so. And then
all right.
Rhea notes, Bianca is kicking Rhea's bleep at WrestleMania and taking her crown back. We shall see. I would love to see it at WrestleMania. As we get to the most meaningless match of the night.
What was this? What the hell?
You know, where do I begin? So it was Trish Stratus and our WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I want to preface this by saying that I love Trish Stratus. We call her Mother Stratus on the rap. She is one of my favorites to ever do it in WWE. She's a legend in every way.
Don't disagree.
But however,
why
did this happen? I know it's Toronto, but still. And then on top of that, it's her 25th anniversary. But we don't do a video package commemorating this amazing milestone for her career.
No, that was apparently on SmackDown, where she trunks out her kids and say, I just want to wrestle a match in front of my kids. And then they show the match in 2006 where she wins the title off of Lita with the boxing crowd or something. And just stuff. It's great. But we didn't get any of that tonight.
No. I mean, if you're celebrating 25 years of someone's career, you roll the tape, you put together a montage of meaningful moments that truly hit to say, wow, we're celebrating 25 years of this legend. Let's make it count for something. And this tag team match was absolutely nothing. And the chemistry between all four is awful. It is simply not there. They do not work well together. This was not a match I was clamoring for post Royal Rumble. I wasn't daydreaming about Trish interacting with Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. No offense to them. That wasn't my dream. That wasn't my fantasy. And I got it in this match that wasn't very good.
There was nothing noteworthy about this match. It wasn't bad. It was a little sloppy in places, but it was literally just, giving reps to some of these women. Tiffany Stratton just got an opportunity to be, on a PLE. You got Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton, two very young talents on here. So you're skewing the age range of the talent pool of the roster, which is honestly a great thing. But then, the match happens. Trish and Tiffany celebrate. There's no Charlotte. There's no angle or anything with Trish Stratus and Tiffany beyond each other. They just had a match to make sure that there was more than just 3 matches on this card. And then fine, but it also just felt like it was an advertisement for any aging wrestler that might be worth any money to say, hey, look, this is how we'll treat you in WWE. Don't look at any of the other companies. This is what you could kind of get in your hometown, nowadays. Just think about it. And that's what it kind of felt like, was just kind of like an advertisement for those who are paying attention to the message WWE is sending out.
Yes, that we don't job out our legends anymore, that we give them the proper respect. We give you the farewell that you deserve, and you will win in your hometown. Granted, Trish and I get the pinfall in her hometown, but hey, she won with her team. Now, Tiffany, dear sweet Tiffany, why are you kicking your opponent out of the ring when you're trying to get in position? That was definitely a choice. I don't know if they're going to play into that.
She didn't slip on the rope and kick Trish in the face.
I know, but why did you do that repeatedly, though, Tiffy? What are you doing? That was very heelish of you, but you got the W. It could be. Listen, they could be planting Cecil down the road, and if Trish wants to use the evidence, she can go back to that moment, because they did play it upon replay. They didn't have to show that particular angle, but they did.
It could have been deliberate. It feels haphazard if it was deliberate, but it could have been deliberate.
Very much so. So overall, match was just kind of there. It wasn't special, wasn't remarkable. And maybe they'll circle back to Trish versus Tiffany sometime very soon. But I did want a bit more pomp and circumstance for Trish. And then when you talk about your kids, we don't cut to your kids. They're not at ringside watching mama work. Are they in the skybox suite? Are they backstage watching on the monitor? I don't know. So I just think that was another missed opportunity as well, to have your kids out there celebrate with you, because that was their first time seeing you wrestle live.
Yeah, the more I think about it, between Trish and that match with Owens and Sami Zayn and that Elimination Chamber, there was a very concerted effort to try and reel in some lapsed fans before WrestleMania, because they're generational back of 20 years. If you're watching any kind of wrestling in the last 20 years between Punk and Ring of Honor and those guys and the WWE product, there's something for everybody to just hey, come check out this WrestleMania, hey, we might got something for you. And that's kind of how I felt going into that next match. Was, if you love Ring of Honor at any point in its iteration, was this the match for you?
Yes, we'll get to that match in just a moment, as Fernando knows a couple of things about our prior match, saying that I agree that Trish should have gotten a tribute or a video package. Right. I do agree there. Then, Tiffany is better than a heel than a face. Now, I will say that I agree. And the big test is going to come in the last stretch heading towards WrestleMania regarding her match against Charlotte Flair. These promos are going to be fascinating. But I will say for Tiffany Stratton that she needs to get out of her head in matches because she's thinking about the spots. And once you just get your mind out of thinking about where you're supposed to be in terms of positioning, you will figure this out. It's going to come with time, and hopefully Charlotte will help her along the way heading to WrestleMania season, but she has to stop overthinking spots.
she's not ready.
No.
Like, it's fine. Like, I don't, like, this isn't like a huge scarlet letter that, like, oh God, she's not ready and she has the title. It happens all the time, you know, that, like, people grow into the title. In the other promotions, like Mariah May kind of wasn't ready for the AEW World title, but here we were on that one. So here we are with Tiffany, and, you know, she got the Money in the Bank, and we all, you know, like, wanted to see it happen, but she was carefully curated in all of these situations to learn, and hopefully that she was going to progress on the things that come instinctually at the same time. Hasn't quite happened. You know, when you're with Nia Jax a lot, Nia Jax has a lot of strengths to her game. I'm not sure coaching and, you know, developing someone with her wrestling pedigree is really simpatico for either of them. But we're going to see what happens with Charlotte. And Tiffany is going to get that confidence. And at some point, she's going to lose this title. She might lose it at WrestleMania. She might lose it after. But it can't be the thing that sinks her is that somehow she failed, because she's inevitably going to lose this title at some point.
Yes. And I think this is a good learning curve for her to kind of figure it out. And it's never too late. It happens for a lot of people in this business. Timeless Tony Storm is a prime example of it takes a while for you to figure out who you are as a wrestler. And Tiffany's still figuring it out. She's young. She'll get there. Did she get the title too soon? I don't think so. But I think the more that she works and she stops overthinking spots and what she's trying to do, she'll get there. I saw this with Bianca Belair during the early years as well, that you're young and you're trying to make a mark and you overthink. And when you stop overthinking, it just opens the world up for you to truly be the wrestler you're meant to be. And that will happen with her in time. I do believe that.
The other real advantage that the entire WWE roster has is that the audience is so forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just like, they just willing everything to be better than it is. And the crowd in Toronto loved Trish, you know, like, they enjoyed the match. But, like, if this was anywhere else, if this was like on a SmackDown in Boston or something like that, I don't think it would be blowing the roof off the doors or anything like that.
Oh, for sure. I think it would have got like a very response, in all honesty. Toronto.
Like, that's a nice match. Yay.
Yeah. Minimal heat. It was like, you know, so Toronto.
SmackDown main event? Sure. But it's not. But that's what this was. It felt like a SmackDown main event.
Yes. And Toronto was a nice backdrop to kind of help, you know, pull along the reactions that counted when it needed to most. Yeah. But let's get to our next match, as Jeremy alluded to. The Ring of Honor special. Unsanctioned match. You know, this was a divisive match. I loved it because it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You can't go wrong. Unsanctioned match. We had dimmed lights. We had WWE officials not wearing their official referee jersey. We're blocking the WWE logo. This is like, this is not our match. They're going out there and we're just here to count a pinfall or submission and let's go. The match itself, I thought, was very good. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn cannot have a bad match. It's impossible. They've done this thousands of times over their career that spans over 2 decades. They're supremely gifted at what they do. They tell a story and the fans buy in. We had violence. We had multiple people going through tables and various spots. Sami putting Kevin through tables in the concession area. And then he unfortunately goes through 2 tables, double-decker style, midway through this match, takes a hellacious bump, and then he gets back at it once again and competes against KO.
He flipped through the table.
He did. And he lived. He survived, got back in there as well. And oh my God, KO took a nasty half and half suplex on a steel chair at one point as well. And then Kevin put Sami through another table with the Fisherman Buster suplex for a near fall. And then he tries to introduce more tables. And then at this point, I will say that things got a little bit ridiculous because we had WWE officials coming out there saying, are we doing too much? It's unsanctioned, people. Adam Pearce said, unsanctioned match. We're not responsible. We're not liable. Why do you want to be liable now?
What exactly happened that they're like, yeah, we can't let this continue, and then tepidly let it continue?
They said, you know what? Let's pull up a little bit. You know,
it was performative for the lawsuits later on.
oh my God. Yes, down the road when they file lawsuits on this match, like hey, at least we tried to intervene.
Do you see the evidence of us out at ringside trying to stop this match?
See, we're not completely soulless bastards. We're looking out for the welfare of our competitors.
The thin line between credibility and bending and breaking is precarious, and it bent a long way. It never really broke, but I get what you're saying. Go ahead, continue.
Yes, highlight was when a referee went down due to KO dodging a haluva kick, and poor Sami knocks out the referee. And then Lone H, Charles Robinson, my favorite referee in WWE, makes his little run out there to be referee number 2. And then when he tries to do a pinfall and Sami kicks out, Kevin's irate, and poor Lone H gets clotheslined. I said, not Charles taking a bump 30 years into his career still in the year 2025. We have more backup referees wearing their official WWE referee jerseys. It was a bit of a turnoff for me. Like, now it's sanctioned now out of nowhere. And then they
ran out of shirts.
They did. We only had one black polo shirt
I think
for someone to wear.
And like, well, I guess 3 is, you got a couple on reserve, but you just run out of people after a while.
They did. So it was like, listen, backups. Hey guys, we need you for this match. Then things got crazier because then we got like a barbed wire steel chair introduced into this match. And then Michael Cole was just going crazy on commentary. Like, Michael, my friend, my buddy, my pal, this is an unsanctioned match. There are no morals here. There's no, please don't do this. Let them maul each other. Let there be violence, which I appreciated.
I have a really hard time with the idea that anybody who was in attendance or watching this match was unaware of the history between these two individuals and was going to think that there was a line that somehow was not going to be crossed. There is a tacit understanding between these two that they're monsters to each other and with each other. And, I called it the Ring of Honor special, but they dimmed the lights and there was specific angles that took me back to watching like old Ring of Honor matches where the cameramen kind of reach their heads inside underneath the ring to get that camera angle, and you're really close to the two guys on the mat locked in a submission. And I was just like, wow, they're really trying to make you feel like Ring of Honor. And then they go back to the NXT vibes, the things that they did in NXT near the end of the match. And you're just like, they are both at the same time trying to do the best match they've ever done with each other, but save something because they're going to run it back real soon.
Exactly. They left you wanting more. We got the multiple pop-up power bombs on the apron that started their NXT feud over 10 years ago now. Time flies by so fast.
That's disgusting. Stop it.
It's disgusting. Michael says, stop it. Damn it, Kevin. Have a heart. Like, Michael.
I do think it was 9 years ago. If it makes me feel a little bit better, it might have been 9 years ago. 2016 is not quite 10 years ago, Keila.
Yeah.
Do not age me as much as my facial hair ages me.
We're counting NXT, so it was 10 years ago. It's 10 years ago. I'm old too. That's how time flies.
Who Sami Zayn beat for the NXT title?
Oh my God. See, now you're trying to fuck with my mind. And I watched this match when Scott and I did like a review a few years ago. I want to say
one Adrian Neville.
I know. Yes. I remember that much. So he's trying to do
the
me
dirty
like,
troll was what the Queen Elf.
Yes, a fine champion, clean shaven Adrian Neville, and then on the same night, Kevin Owens' best friend power bombs his bestie on the apron, and it begins a rivalry that spans many, many moons in WWE. So ultimately, Kevin Owens lands one more pop-up power bomb, pins his best friend. Michael Cole is relieved this is over because he's a sick bastard. And then we get the return of the Viper, Randy Orton, who also has his own beef with Kevin Owens because he took him out with the package power driver months ago, and he's back. And thankfully, he's not as big as he was before. Like, thank God he's not swole, because it gives him the flexibility to work lighter.
He's just SWOL now. He's not SOWLE.
And so Randy comes out there and he's going after KO, lands RKO on him out of nowhere. And then the spot that I wanted, that I think fans have been clamoring for, is Randy hasn't done a punt in forever.
A PK?
A PK. He hasn't done it in a very long time. He'll only do it in like rare instances where it's deserved, when he's in a very dark place. And these fucking agents,
everybody knew exactly what it was.
Oh, and people was popping for it. They was waiting for it, and then y'all blocked it.
That's
so we'll get it at WrestleMania.
That is another one of those like reaching out to the lapsed fan kind of thing. That is an old ass callback.
Yes, it's classic. He only does that when he's psychotic, and so we're definitely getting it at WrestleMania for sure.
Legend killer Randy Orton and the penalty kick.
Oh,
good times.
Man, fun times.
He would have been a babyface now if he had penalty kicked Vince now.
Yes. I think he was when he did it.
Belt him. Give him the world title if he does that, Miguel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I am looking forward to Kevin versus Randy at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Someone asked earlier, did that match happen? Like, actually, no, because Logan Paul was in the mix last year. So it'll be 1-on-1. And I think, in my humble opinion, this would be a sneaky, great match at WrestleMania. Two professional wrestlers, I don't know, just wrestling.
Does Sami get written out of WrestleMania now?
That is a tough question. You know,
you make it a three-way?
It's like running it back again.
The Sami versus Kevin versus Randy Orton?
That would be a fucking amazing match.
It would be a great match.
Oh my God.
You do three people in a match. You're like, yeah, I don't know about that one. You're like, well, actually, you know, like that. The meme with the blonde haired woman. Like, well,
that would be awesome. My concern is that they're trying to set up Sami and Karrion Kross too. So I don't know, which scares me a little bit. And I like Karrion Kross' character more now, but I don't think that's a WrestleMania match. No, it's not.
That's a TV match.
It is.
That could heat up Sami for Mania match, not the Mania match.
Exactly. It's a bridge on the road to WrestleMania on a Monday Night Raw in Europe.
Gross.
Hey, but listen, as long as we don't get it at WrestleMania, it's all that matters to me.
Wait, so these Monday Night Raws are going to air at like 11 a.m. in the morning?
I think the plan is, if you live internationally and like in the UK, you'll see it live on Netflix. Okay. We won't see it until like 8 o'clock our time.
Why?
They won't allow it, dude. They're not going to let us watch live on Netflix in the US. They're not going to let us do it. They're not going to let us do it.
Why? Why not?
They won't.
It's gone. Like
they won't. I'll be shocked if they do, but they won't.
Peacock does it.
They don't. Not for like a Monday Night Raw. They won't.
I don't know.
A PLE they would, because it's they don't care about the time, but a Monday Night Raw.
I look forward to you being shocked when they do it.
You know, I can't watch anyway because I'll be working.
Oh, that's too bad.
Like, you won't be at work either. Come on,
I don't
now.
work Mondays.
See, you lucky person. I can't stand you. Even though my hours are gonna be like a little bit better, I still can't watch. It's still gonna be like
at the same time, I gotta work tomorrow at like 4 a.m. in the morning. So you know,
my condolences.
Like the burdens I have to bear in order to report on WWE coverage. Here we are. Let's do this.
Yes.
No, this match, this Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match, I really, really liked it. I knew what I knew what we were getting when we were going to watch this match. And there's a number of people who don't like this style of match, and I generally don't. But I like it when these guys do it, because I just do. And I've grown up with these guys. They're exactly like the same age as me, and just watching them, you know, grow and just get better at doing the thing that they've been doing for 20 years just kind of resonates with me at a fundamental level. And There's just, I liked it, whether I liked it or not, if that makes any sense.
I totally think that makes sense. And I love both guys. I enjoyed the match. The overbooking of the Asians down the stretch was a bit much for me in terms of, oh my God, you must stop this. But overall, I really enjoyed the match, and both guys deliver at all times. And it's a rivalry that will truly stand the test of time in their storied careers. And in 2 to 3 years, they'll be best friends again. It's just how the circle of life goes with these two.
They got to do this match in Toronto in front of a sold out house. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
Like, this was for them as much as it was for every fan that bought a ticket for that match. And, you know, you're going to have your Hall of Fame moments. You're going to have your nights where you're going to win titles. And you're going to have matches where you get to wrestle your best friend in the place where you grew up, in the crowds that, like, you dreamed of one day. And this. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter who won or who lost. Like, you got to live out a dream. And so, hey, you know what? I don't care what kind of match you had. I enjoyed it. I'm going to think about it in that aspect of things rather than, you know, the clinical, how good was this match? Did I like it or did I not? Like, there are reasons why this match should be just kind of special.
And we got that for sure. It's the chemistry that's very special. And both guys, they always deliver. And tonight was no exception. Mm-hmm. As we get to our next match, which was not the main event of the show, technically, it was the men's Elimination Chamber match. The winner will go on to face Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania. In this match, we had Logan Paul, Damian Priest, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Drew McIntyre. And the two guys that started this match were...
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't Punk. It wasn't Cena. It wasn't Priest. I think it was Drew, and I think it was Seth.
It was Drew and Seth that kicked off the match.
You have the notes here. I'm just running along.
I was just trying to give you that tag. You didn't take it. You was like, Keila, you fill in the blanks. I said, okay, fine.
I had to think about it for a second, but no, yeah, here we go.
Yes, but let's be for real. Okay, outside of Priest, one really cool spot during the rope rock and doing Hurricanrana, the match did not get going until it really came down to the final three. When it came down to CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. Once we got Logan Paul out of there, blessings. Damian Priest had to go. I understand it. But when it came down to the final three, I was into it. Drew McIntyre getting pinned first was shocking, I will say, but it builds up to Priest versus McIntyre at WrestleMania, even though I do think that the more spicier match is LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, but I digress. But
Priest and McIntyre is closing the loop.
We'll see. We'll see how they pull it together in the next month or so. But once we got down to our top three, this match got cooking. And WWE has been teasing me because I've been saying this since the Royal Rumble. All I wanted was Cena versus Punk. And y'all gave me my face off and you teased it and you didn't give it to me. We finally got it. And these guys are pushing 50. But you know what? Chemistry will always last forever with these two. And for what we got with them, for the time we got it, these guys just simply flow together.
You think this is the last time they're in the ring with each other?
Absolutely not. Now that we got what we got at the end of the show, we are running it back via a singles match at some point this year. And I am here for it because CM Punk, after all these years, says, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
Do we just want to go to all of that, or should we just stick to the match right now?
Match right now.
So there wasn't much to this match. It was all story. You know, it was just like you're setting up a Mania match here. You're setting up a Mania match here. You're closing the loop on Logan Paul and CM Punk within the match because you need a reason for this here and that. And didn't dislike the match, but it was all like means to ends. You know what I mean? Like this was the, you need to open up the book and you need to give everyone their stamp as to what their destination is for WrestleMania. And when this match was over, you felt like all the big players, you knew what they had going on. And, you know, the fine print, that's going to set itself up at some point later on. But you knew what these matches were going to be. And if you didn't have a PLE or you didn't have one of these things, like, I don't know if you're actually going to get your Mania match, you know? Like, I don't know if LA Knight is going to be running it back into a Mania match with Nakamura this year. Who knows? But you know that these guys all will.
Definitely. And we got some double team work courtesy of Punk and Cena as they had a heart attack on Seth at one point. And then they did like the dual elimination of him by hitting their finishers on him. It came down to Cena and Punk, which was basically them hitting their finishers for very close to their falls. Let's get straight to the point. No need to sugarcoat it. And then Seth, hater that he is.
Hater.
Supreme hater. He says, you know what? Since I can't go to WrestleMania, Punk, neither can you. You will not be in the main event. He stumps the soul out of this man. And then he says, you know what? Now I can leave. I can leave the chamber. I can lock the door and I can stare at you. And Cena says, oh, opportunity. Let me drag you back. But I'm not going to just pin you. I need to win honorably in some way. STF. And then Seth, the hater that he is, says, die. Punk, die. Just
you can
die.
hear him yell die from outside the cage as the life drains from CM Punk's eyes.
Yes, he fades away. Punk tries to fight. He passes out. Cena wins. He's going to WrestleMania. Seth screws Punk again, which means we're definitely getting Punk and Seth and most likely Roman at WrestleMania for sure. And I'm not mad at it. But I still need to know the fucking favor that Paul offered this man to get you what exactly?
Do you really care?
I do. I do not want this to be Vince and the lockbox when Shane came back. We need some finality to what the favor is.
I hope that it ends up being something that's highlighted going into it. But it feels like CM Punk's bracelet with Drew McIntyre at this point. Like there's enough meat on the bone for Seth to have issues with Roman and Seth to have issues with Punk. That it's just like, I don't care who else. You're in the match. I don't care. You're in the match. Fuck you. Let's all fight kind of thing. Like that's all they really need to do. And now, like, if you're introducing this favor with Heyman into it now, it feels just kind of extra. Does that, you know what I mean? Like, they've done so much with Seth and that curb stomp on both guys that I don't need anything else out of that feud. Like, they hate each other. They've been haters on each other. And sometimes you just want all these haters to beat the crap out of each other. Fine. Like, whatever the CM Punk favor is with Heyman, I hope it's revealed after that. Because I don't know if it's germane to this, other than Heyman is going to be caught between Roman and Punk, and it may still not come up.
Yeah, that is true, and I do agree with you there. And if we're trying to implement the favor, it's got to make sense and count when it does happen. And I think that this will be an elusive journey for CM Punk trying to main event WrestleMania. It will happen pending egos who might want that spot every single year moving forward. But I am looking forward to Roman versus Seth versus Punk at WrestleMania. And hopefully the favor will come in at a later date when it makes sense.
Yeah. So where do you think Logan Paul fits in Mania?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Do you
I
care?
thought about. I really don't actually.
That's fair.
I mean, he'll have a decent match. You know, AJ Styles is a possibility. I do see him in the IC title mix potentially.
I don't even think AJ Styles might even be on WrestleMania at this point.
Boy, yeah.
He might be heading for I don't know, somewhere where all of his friends wrestle.
Oh,
all friends wrestling. I don't know.
All friends wrestling.
It could happen. You know, like he is entering a part of his career where he wrestled everyone he could possibly wrestle there, and just I don't honestly think AJ will be on WrestleMania. He could be. Logan Paul and AJ. I thought they've already done that match.
They have not.
Oh, I thought there was a U.S. title match for that.
No,
well, it would be cool.
It would be. I mean, it'll be interesting. But as you said, we don't know AJ Styles' fate.
And he feels like a TV guy, like he hasn't been, granted he got injured in that match with, I guess, Carmelo a while back, but he hasn't been on a PLE since, France basically loved him to death.
Yeah, so, we're gonna see.
Who knows? As for Priest and Drew, like Priest took the title off of Drew last year at WrestleMania. And if people are going to watch WrestleMania year by year, do all these things in retrospective, they're going to watch that one year and then they're going to turn on WrestleMania the next year and see that these two guys are wrestling each other. And as much as they didn't have any hands on each other throughout the year, when they do that WrestleMania, like, run back, they're going to see that. And they're like, oh, these guys are like lifelong enemies with each other. And I kind of get it. It's also going to be a really good match, and it may not be like the number one thing. And Drew has been a part of a lot of fantastic feuds this year, and if anyone deserves more, it's him. But I think that they have an opportunity to, steal the show if they were so inclined to.
Yes, and I think they have the potential to do so. Just want the story to be there. We know where the story is, just the both guys trying to extrapolate that, heading into WrestleMania in a believing a convincing way, but we shall see how it goes. And Fernando notes that AJ Styles in AEW is an excellent idea, as he picked up what Jeremy was dropping down in the hints of all friends wrestling.
Just AJ, not the Good Brothers, however.
But listen, just AJ. We don't need a package deal.
No Carl.
No Carl. No Festus. No Doc. No Festus. We're good.
No holding hostage and never open weight title when you're
Yes, and Maria notes AJ's contract expires after Mania if they're not tacking up contract time.
And if he's not tied up before Mania, he's not going to be on Mania.
Exactly. So we shall see where it all goes heading into the heart of WrestleMania season. And now it's time to talk about the main event angle.
The most self-indulgent thing I've seen in a long time.
Yes. So we just get to the nooks and cranny of it, basically. So we have Cena in the ring. That should have been clue one as to where this was going to go, as Cody comes out there to congratulate his WrestleMania opponent. They shake hands, they're ready to go, and then immediately the Rock's music hits, or so we think. It's actually Travis Scott's music, and then he and the Rock walk down to the ring together. Travis Scott just there. I'm laughing because Pat McAfee is trying to snow the people and saying, oh, Travis Scott in the corner lighting up sage. That ain't no damn sage.
No.
That's the blunt he just smoking in the corner.
I was loving every moment of this. And you know why, Keila? Do you know why I was loving every moment of this? It's because our fearless leader in our Discord asked, hey, this show, over under 3 hours, 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, we're going over. I've heard this show might go 3 hours. We're going over. We were at 3 hours and 17 minutes when these two started their crawl to the ring. And I was like, oh, I'm winning this.
You won it. They just exceeded 3.5 hours.
I was just like, they milked every single moment. If there was an opportunity to exhibit any sense of brevity or self-control or just, let a little do a lot of work, they declined to take that opportunity.
They absolutely did. And so Rock just gets straight to the point. He basically tells Cody, hey, I want you to embrace me. I want you to hug me. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I want you to accept my offer. I want your soul. I need your soul. I'm going to give you the world if you simply just embrace me in the ring.
Call me Satan.
Call me Satan. Give me your soul. Sign your name in blood. Give me what I want. Let's do this. Let me be your brother. You're going to be my champion. Let's do this, because if you don't, your dream will die again. I said, you cold-hearted bastard. And Cena's over there pantomiming like, don't do it, Cody. Don't sell your soul. You're your own man. And then Cody says, you know what?
Super babyface Cena.
Like, you knew, you just had a feeling, like, as he was just doing the most back there, you had like a sneaky suspicion, like, why are you hanging back? Like, why are you still here? And so Cody says, you know what, Rock? I hear what you're saying. And you're right. I want it all.
I don't have a soul anymore.
I don't have a soul. I want it all. I don't have a soul anymore because I gave it to this ring and I gave it to these people a long time ago. So I'm good. And in an uncensored all-time great line, he says, hey, Rock, you can go fuck yourself. And Cena, the pantomiming cheerleader, is like, yes, score, go, Cody.
I just got my payday.
Yes. He was so excited.
He just saw dollar bills.
Listen, when Cody says go fuck yourself, the money bells that rung in Cena's head at that moment, he was like, jackpot. And so he embraces Cody, says, I'm so proud of you. And then we see that cold stare in Cena's eyes. His expression changes, and The Rock does the mafia symbol as he's method acting for the most important Hollywood role of his life for Scorsese. Like, hey, here's my tape. Peep it. And then Cena looks at Cody and he kicks him in the nuts. And then they proceed to beat his ass. And the fans cannot believe they're actually going to get heel Cena in 2025. He beats up Cody.
Life.
Thug life, thugonomics. Let's do it. He beats Cody Rhodes' ass. They whip him with the belt. They bloody him up. They hit him with the championship belt multiple times. And we got choking from Cena. Mm-hmm. He's just being a diabolical, evil, stone-faced heel. He stands over Cody.
He choked out Cody like the Netflix choked him out.
Yes. The callbacks, and with Wade on commentary, like, listen, now you see what you've done 15 years later. Look what you've done. Look what you set up and manifested all these years later. And then we have the two diabolical heels that hated each other, 12, 13 years ago. And now they're standing side by side as John Cena goes into WrestleMania 41, his last WrestleMania on his retirement tour as a diabolical, cold-blooded heel.
Well, the losing streak is over.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the losing streak is over. He won that tonight, and he's got to win the title. If he doesn't win, like, he's got to win at Mania. Like, what's the point of all of this if Cena, like, for the remainder of the year doesn't exactly, he said, I want to win 17 and shake the hand of the person who wins 18.
Yes.
This is it. Like, Cody holds it for a year, call it a day, and then he goes on a quest, and I'm fine with all of it. It's like Cena gets that bucket list opportunity to do one more like main event run as a heel, like that he never got to do during that time. I know that there's a number of friends of mine that just think this is a terrible idea and that they're leaving money on the table, and that Cena's a babyface for his final run was just, a no-brainer. But WWE can do whatever the fuck they want. The tickets are sold. And the headlines for this tomorrow are going to be like, Cena, turns, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They'll get everything that they want out of it. I watched The Rock basically try and channel Al Pacino and Jack Nicholson as the devil And I'll be honest with you, Keila, The Rock is a bad promo now. He has not had a good promo in 2025, and I really don't remember the last good promo he had that was on WWE TV and not an Instagram or TikTok that he spent 18 minutes just like working out the script that he did with Brian Gewerks. Like, I don't even know if Brian Gewerks is still, writing his stuff anymore, because what we're getting from him in 2025 is garbage promo, and he is living off of his reputation while he is just doing these melodramatic, I want your soul, blah, like open your mouth and let me like take your life from you kind of weird vampire shit. I get that he's trying to find something final boss-ish, like next level, but it just kind of doesn't fit. And it's tonally different from what he was doing as The Rock before. And you even saw that SmackDown promo that he did, or that promo he did a couple of weeks ago, where, the crowd turned with him back and forth. And it was just kind of like, what is going on here? Like, keep it together. You don't need your ego to like have the fans feed into you and then not. And it's just, The Rock is a disruption to the entirety of WWE. And as much as the fans enjoy when he comes back, it's not always a good disruption.
Ooh, let's dissect this bit by bit, because you've made some very valid points and I want to piggyback off of some of it. And I do think that his Netflix promo was the undoing of a lot of stuff that people had in their minds heading into this year's WrestleMania and the next. And when he came out there and people called it out and said, what the hell are you doing? Are we not doing any of this? We're not doing Roman versus you at some point. Are we not doing you versus Cody at some point? And then you get mad. I think that one of Rock's flaws now is he's very reactive. He's very sensitive towards criticism about what he does. And then he claps back and says, go on the fucking ride. I'm taking you on and enjoy it, but it's not a good ride. And to answer your question, his last big work was last year heading into WrestleMania, because he knew how to pivot and he didn't get in his fucking head so much. He just rolled with it. He got a character he latched on to and he delivered. He didn't overthink it. But now when you come out there and you try to be gracious and you try to be magnanimous and you try to be a baby face, that's not who you were last seen. Don't try to break the fourth wall of saying, hey, your mom and my mom get along and we're friends. Like, I don't care about that. I don't care about how many Terramana shots you take backstage. You're basically saying what you did at last year's WrestleMania doesn't mean shit. Save it for the documentary. Save it for behind the scenes for WWE 24. But don't get mad when fans and the critics out there rightfully say you nuked 2 possible WrestleMania matches for this year and next because you're busy. I get it, but don't get mad when you get called out for it and then you try to walk it back. And I felt like it was an emergency button situation where he says, well, let me go in here and try to juice up WrestleMania. But at the same time, you're offering nothing to the table. There's nothing fresh to what you're saying. It's very trite. And when you're getting what chance from the fans, you're The Rock. You don't get what chance, but you got them last night. I got your boring chant on SmackDown last night when you try to solicit a fucking truck to Cody. So all of this tells me that you're overthinking who you should be as a character. And maybe if you're not going to be a part of WrestleMania, if you're not going to be in a match, maybe you should walk away and come back when you can take this seriously, when you're not filming a role.
The whole thing with him is just, okay, in the past, if something didn't work with The Rock, he always was able to say like, oh, like, or everyone could justify it as, oh, Vince screwed up the Rock angle. How could you mess up this angle with The Rock or do anything? Well, newsflash, he's the guy in charge now. There's nobody else. If like people react badly to it, it's on him. There's no one else to point the finger on, because he's the one coming in here like changing the plan and deciding we're going to do this instead of that. So if this shit doesn't hit, if it's not a home run, if it's not the best material out there, it's going to directly reflect on him. And I think he's starting to feel that way more than he ever did before he became the front man for TKO.
And whose fault is that? You put the pressure on yourself. Like, I mean, really? I mean, who put that kind of pressure on yourself to go into business for yourself?
The dude has a massive ego. You should have seen that stuff with the DC Comics like power play that he tried to do with the movie. Like, he wants to be Ryan Reynolds, and he wants to be like the CEO and the man making the decisions, as well as being the entertainment. And it's a worthy goal, and it's one of these things. But there are things in which his vision is lacking, and he doesn't have the instinct. And the reason he doesn't have the instinct is because he committed his time and energy into building his empire in different ways. And that's okay, but that means he doesn't have the answers now, and he has to, sometimes roll with it instead of deciding he has the answers.
Maria said it best. The failure of Black Adam got The Rock mentally shook. It did. And then when he tried to make Black Adam versus Superman happen with the other Superman, and then James Gunn says, well, actually, we're not doing that. And then Warner Brothers
would not be a number 2 to James Gunn, and that was the downfall.
No, exactly. Like, that wasn't going to happen, and that bruised his ego. And it's been a reverberation of him coming back to WWE. Is great PR, but you can't take this with you into the storylines for WWE, because it does more harm than good. And you cannot get mad at people that call you out. The Netflix promo on Monday Night Raw on January 6th effectively nuked everything people wanted to see from you. So
what's amazing is that promo, people will look at it and try and draw a line from then to now and say, there was a plan this entire time. And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
No, it was not a plan.
There's the door. We're not talking about it.
Like that. No, there was no plan. He says what you're not going to get are these 2 matches that he wanted desperately, because you're too busy, but you're not too busy to drop by when it's convenient for you.
He pulled up in his big black truck on a Wednesday and said, hey, listen, we're going to change the plans for Saturday. Okay. And that's how they spent their Thursday.
Essentially. And so he has to understand, like, when you do stuff, it is going to cause a reaction, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
And for Saturday night, you did get the desired reaction for John Cena. Now, the question becomes, will you be around during this stretch of time heading into WrestleMania if you're not wrestling? Because at this point, will you be compelling on the mic? Will you actually draw us in? I don't know. I have far more faith in John Cena, who I know can absolutely deliver and won't get rattled by fan reactions or critiques.
He's a good guy for this role. I like the whole John Cena setup of going heel. It's all academic. Everything about this show, like, I didn't get an emotional reaction from this stuff. I watched it and said, oh, okay, they're going with that. They'll be fine. Like, everything about this WrestleMania is going to be fine. There's no amazing, like, once-in-a-lifetime match, I think, but the experience is going to be unbelievable in Vegas. Now that you're done watching this show, okay, is your excitement level for WrestleMania lower, the same, or more than before you watched it?
More than before, because of the Cena turn.
Okay.
Because now this won't be babyface versus babyface. It won't be a matter of respect. Because as you noted earlier, if Cena does in fact win at WrestleMania, and he should, because this is your last year and you're dedicating dates for sure. And I think that whoever's going to win off of him.
Braun Breaker. Sorry.
Ooh. I like that. So who should be the guy? Who should be the guy to beat him? Braun Breaker. I'm not mad at it. I want him to make somebody on the way out.
You don't want it to be Austin Theory?
Hell no. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something.
We already went to the well on that one.
Let me tell you something. I ain't here for that. No, absolutely not. So I'm here for Braun Breaker as an option. Have listen, I have a Punk bias as well, but you cannot be that guy. But you have to make someone on the way out the door, and Braun Breaker is a candidate to be in the running to beat Cena on that last leg of his tour. And then Lady B has breaking news. Hey, Lady B, in the presser, Rock said Cena is already on the plane back to Africa for a movie. Cena already back in the motherland, so we ain't gonna see that man into the European tour. But
his work here is done.
Yes, he says, listen, I'll see you in Europe in 3 weeks. Peace out.
He can send videos to Raw and talk and show up on SmackDown if you wanted to. Like, he can basically be what Batista was to Cena in their WrestleMania feud going forward.
Definitely. And Fernando asks a very good question. Which World Championship match should main event night 2?
Cody Cena.
Yes, clearly. Undoubtedly. So love Jay, but no.
Jay and Gunther should open night 1. Seth, Punk, and Roman should close night 2. And Rhea and Bianca should open night 2.
Okay, so you got to flip it. They should close night 1. Roman, Punk, Rollins, and then Bianca and Rhea open night 2.
Sorry, yeah. That's
it. Yeah. There we go. Makes sense to me. I am not mad at that lineup at all. And I will say, like, WrestleMania, it's gotten a bit more exciting. We got to get the rest of the card together. We got to see how it goes. Mm-hmm. But the Cena turn definitely ups my interest for WrestleMania for sure.
I think I told you off air, I decided before Elimination Chamber that I was going to go to Vegas this year for the WrestleMania festivities. But I'm still not buying a ticket to Mania. I'll watch it somewhere and just hang out with people and do that thing. Just be there for the energy and all that. Hang out with the F4W friends of mine that are going to be there. But man, like, there's nothing about this card when I was deciding to go to Vegas and debating it. And now that the card is over, that card is not getting me to want to go to this WrestleMania. If it is a one-time thing, you've never gone before, I get it. I've gone to a bunch of WrestleManias. I've seen Punk. I've seen Cena live wrestle. I've done the whole deal. This one is not for me, but I know it's for a lot of people. And God bless you if you're willing to pay the ticket prices for it.
Yes, I think the WrestleMania is an experience for those who've never done it before, to go there live and experience the spectacle, have a great time. Mm-hmm. Would I pay a ticket for this year's WrestleMania? Honestly speaking, I would not. But I do feel, despite like the card being, we're getting there. This does.
You're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
With the amount of matches that you get compared to a normal show. Like, we got 4, we usually get 5 matches on a PLE. I wouldn't be shocked if we get 6 or 7 per night. Mm-hmm. And, you're in for a 4-hour show both nights. This is supposed to be the biggest show of the year. And it feels like it's going to be big shows.
Yes. And the WrestleMania is the last couple of years that ended at a very reasonable hour. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. But I do get the sneaky suspicion this could be like giving WrestleMania 19, and that you didn't think a lot about it going in, but it actually turned into one of the best WrestleManias ever that fly under the radar. So we shall see how it goes.
I look forward to another year where night 1 is infinitely better than night 2 minus the main event.
Yeah, that's been the trend for the last few WrestleManias for sure. And before we go, let's offer our final ranking for Elimination Chamber 2025. Jeremy, on a scale of 1 to 10.
7.
7. I'll go 7.5.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't magical. It wasn't like transcendent. There were great moments, but there wasn't anything like, oh my God, this is an all-timer show.
Yeah, it was a maintenance show, got you to where you needed to be heading into
Kevin
WrestleMania.
And Sami, some people are going to call it their match of the year, and I saw people call it their match of the year. I get it. It's not my match of the year.
Yes, Fernando knows fans have to understand that. Cody finishing the story was always going to be hard to top. That is true. Hey, listen, we were on a 2-year journey.
he 3 years of Cody's story, and he's still going to be the guy that they're wrapping around. Cena may have the belt, but Cody's still going to be the guy they're telling the stories around.
Exactly.
Cena's not going to be there all the time. Yeah, actually, I'm the kind of nerd that's going to tell you that Hiroki Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr. is his favorite match of the year so far. Maybe Desperado versus Kosei Fujita. Not quite Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, but that's the dork that I am. Hi.
Yes, a good dork. Fernando gives the show a perfect 10.
Okay.
And Maria gives the show a solid 8.
All right.
And those scores are not wrong at all. And that wraps up our Elimination Chamber review right here on the Fight Game Media Network YouTube channel. I want to thank Jeremy for joining me as we recap the highs and lows from the final PLE before WrestleMania for WWE, not counting Stand and Deliver from NXT, which will be going on at the ungodly hour of 3:00 p.m. Eastern as you're trying to have people hustle to Alliance Stadium before WrestleMania 41.
I can't wait for the chaos. I'm probably just going to grab some food and watch it in a hotel room somewhere, and it's going to be awesome.
Oh my gosh, the hustle to get from one place to the other. It's going to be
they moved. I think they moved NXT an hour earlier because they realized the awfulness that they were inflicting upon people. For doing that. So
they moved it to 2. 2 is not better. Like I still have to hustle to the stadium if I'm going to WrestleMania.
It's going to be hot.
It is going to be hot in April for sure. Yeah, it's going to be very, very hot.
In the 90s, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be steamy. And
not quite 115, but in the 90s.
Yeah, well, listen, as we get close to WrestleMania, we will do the weekly weather forecast to see if it clears 90 in Vegas right before WrestleMania. But we also got to take into account they have not announced the location for the Hall of Fame because it will not be on Friday. It will be on a Thursday.
Whatever.
They'll do it at the Spear.
Michelle McCool deserves a Thursday.
Wow. She deserves a Thursday.
What?
Hey, well, listen, a Thursday when nobody's going to sleep. So that works.
She deserves a nice buffet, a little plaque and, a nice little, speech and, some people who happen to be in town by Thursday. That's great. I'm happy for her.
Exactly.
Happy for the Token Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Token Hall of Fame. And then after that, you can go to the Wale Mania after party.
Ooh. I will be arriving in on Thursday. I'll be arriving at 10 o'clock. The Wale Mania party will probably be in full effect. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't think I'm invited, and I don't really know if the pale complexion is going to go very well with the rest of the decor.
Wow. You never know, Jeremy. If you are you might slide through with the stash.
I'm a homebody.
Homebody.
The Magnum TA mustache sometimes gives me some credibility.
Well, it does for sure. Will it get you to Wale Mania? We shall see.
No, not at all. Not at all. I may be somebody's +1, but I am not getting in on my own credibility.
All right. We'll see what hookup you get heading into WrestleMania season.
Yeah,
but
I know of cookouts. I don't get invited to cookouts.
We're going to get you to one.
I appreciate you.
We try. But with that is a wrap for our review of Elimination Chamber, the last PLE before WrestleMania. Scott will be back with me on Wednesday morning to recap his thoughts on all things Elimination Chamber and the fallout on Monday Night Raw and NXT, which should be a very good show as we get ready for the Garden. Not the Garden, y'all. Let me repeat that again. They're not at Madison Square Garden. They're at the adjacent place in Madison Square Garden, the theater at MSG. So we're getting ready for Roadblock as well. And then, of course, we'll dive into the fallout of all things Elimination Chamber as we are on that road to WrestleMania. So, Jeremy, it was a pleasure. Thank you for tapping in and joining me tonight to recap the show.
Yeah, no problem. I've been thinking all about the New Japan Cup over at doing brackets. If you guys want to have a fun time, go to the Sport of Pro Wrestling, where Chris Samsa has got an easy New Japan Cup. And if you know nothing about New Japan, makes it even more fun when you get to do your pick'ems. And that's in getting ready for Speaking Strong Style, which is my New Japan podcast that I do every week with my podcast partner, Stephen Conway, here on the Fight Game Media channel. And I'll jump in on WWE when Salty Scott, not Scotty Wrestling, decides not to tell anyone it's his birthday, and Lady Wrestling X here has to figure out a podcast partner, and here I am. So I am happy to do that. And come back, I'll do AEW pay-per-view recaps with Kevin Ely. And we'll be doing one next Sunday night in some way, shape, or form when we recap Revolution, which is also going to be a heck of a show that we cover here on FightGameMedia.com. I think I got everything in there, and I might not have bored everyone to death with that extremely long plug, Keila.
It was a plug that was worth plugging. And you advertised accordingly. You maximize your minutes, and I appreciate that. Lots of good stuff going on here. Another live stream probably taking place tomorrow night with Gigi offering his own take on Elimination Chamber, as well as that road to WrestleMania continues. Busy week on this channel, as well as Jerry mentioned. Revolution going down for AEW next Sunday from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, where the Lakers play. Should be a very, very good pay-per-view for AEW, their first major event of the year, as they build up to All In Texas in July.
And Power Bombshells tomorrow.
Yes, third anniversary special with Sam and Mel. Congratulations to them. So happy for their milestone and their success here. Mazel tov to them. Very happy for them as well. And with that being said, it's now time to bid you all adieu. Thank you all in the live chat. Fernando, Lady B dropping by, Maria dropping by, Debbie dropping by earlier. We appreciate your interaction and your commentary and your feedback and love. And so until Wednesday, when Scott and I are back recapping all things WWE for myself and for Jeremy Finestone, that is a wrap for Elimination Chamber 2025. Take care. Bye-bye. And don't you be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Know your place.